Hello everyone, I'm Mr. Kissinger and this is 5th grade math module 2 lesson 14. Today we're going to use fraction and decimal multiplication to express equivalent measurements. So we're going to be doing kind of the same thing we did in our last video lesson, except this time we are going to be converting from smaller units to greater units, or larger units. So let's look at our first problem set here. So it says solve, the first one's done for you. Convert days to weeks. So let's see what they did here. It says 28 days equals 28 times 1 day. You can also express that as 28 times 1/7 of a week because there are 7 days in a week. So 1 day is 1/7 of a week. We can also look at that as 28 sevenths of a week because we have 28 days. 28 times 1/7 would give us 28 sevenths of a week. Another way that we can look at that when we're using fractions are division. So we could also express this as 28 divided by 7. It could look like this. It could also look like 28 divided by 7. So all of those kind of mean the same thing. Just remember that when we see a fraction, fractions are division. So when we divide 28 by 7, we get 4. So we know that there are 4 weeks in 28 days, or 28 days in 4 weeks. Let's try one together here. Letter B says convert quarts to gallons. Well, it says 20 quarts equals blank times 1 quart. Well, 20 quarts would be 20 times 1 quart. So let's expand it a step further. It says blank times 1/4 of a gallon, because a quart is 1/4 of a gallon. So it'll be 20 times 1/4 of a gallon. So we could look at this as 20/4 of a gallon. Again, 20/4 is the same as 20 divided by 4. And if we do 20 divided by 4, we'll find out how many gallons are in 20 quarts, or how many 20 quarts are how many gallons. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So there are 20 quarts in 5 gallons. Letter C, we are converting centimeters to meters. Again, we're going from centimeters, a small unit of measurement, to meters, which is a larger unit of measurement. And we know that there are 100 centimeters in a meter. The way I always remember that is there's 100 cents in a dollar. There's 100 centimeters in a meter. So we'll have to start by doing 920 is 920 times 1 centimeter. So 920 centimeters, 920 times 1 centimeter. 1 centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. And if we multiply 920 by 1/100th, we would get 920 over 100, or you would get 920 divided by 100. When we divide by 100, we shouldn't need to do 920 and then divide by 100 and do our long division. We could do it that way, but it would take us a lot longer than if we know this trick here. When we divide by 100, we can just move our decimal places 2 places to the left, decimal point 2 places to the left, and that would give us 9 2/10 of a meter. 9.2. When we divide by 10, we can move that decimal point one place to the left. If we divide by 100, we'd move it 2 places. If we divided by 1,000, we could move that decimal point 3 places to the left. So whenever we're multiplying or dividing by a multiple of 10, we can check the number of zeros. That is the number of or powers of 10, I should say, that's the number of decimal places the decimal point is going to move to the left. We can do that with multiplication as well. We know that we're going to move, when we multiply by 10, we move our decimal point 1 place to the right. So if we had, 54 times 10, we'd have our decimal point here at the end of our number. If we moved it 1 place over, we had to fill in our 0, we'd have 540. If we divided 540 by 10, we just move that back over and we get 54. So that's a nice trick when we have, when we're multiplying or dividing by 10, by 100, by 1,000. So keep that in mind as we continue. Let's look at letter D. Convert meters to kilometers. So again, we're converting meters, which is a smaller unit of measurement than kilometers, to the larger unit of measurement. We need to first know how many meters are in a kilometer. Well, this tells us down here we have 1,000 meters in a kilometer, so we're going to end up multiplying by 1,000th. Here we expressed as a fraction in our last problem. Here they're using a decimal. We could also look at that as 1,000th. This is the same number. So 1,578 meters is 1,578 times 1 meter. 1 meter is the same as 1,000th of a kilometer. We have 1,578 times 1,000th. Well, if we use our same strategy that we used in the last problem for dividing by 1,000, 1,000 with 3 zeros, we're going to move our decimal point from the end. 1, 2, 3, place values over, and we will have 1 and 578 thousandths of a kilometer. So that can be really helpful when we're multiplying by those powers of 10 or dividing by those powers of 10. So let's convert grams to kilograms now. We have 6,080 grams, and we need to convert to kilograms. Well, we know that 6,080 grams is 6,080 times 1 gram. Well, how many grams are in a kilogram? You know that kilo, just like kilometers, kilometers, kilograms, there's 1,000 grams in a kilogram. So we need to use either 1,000th or 1,000th this way. Grams. And what are we going to get when we do that? We have 6,080. Well, let's look at 6,080 like this. With our decimal point on the end, we'll move 1, 2, 3, place values over with our decimal point, and it's going to go right there between our 6 and our 0. So we have 680 thousandths of a kilogram. Next, we're going to convert milliliters to liters. Again, we have little tiny milliliters, and we have to make those into liters, which is a larger unit of measurement. 509 times 1 liter. And then 1 milliliter is 1,000th of a liter. So we'll have to do times 1,000th of a liter. So if we want to get to liters, we have to move our decimal point over to get to 1. Well, we have to move our decimal point here on our 509, 3 to the left. We're dividing by 1,000 or multiplying by 1,000th. Multiplying by 1,000th is the same as dividing by 1,000. Again, we could look at it like this. Or 1 over 1,000. We get 509 thousandths of a liter. And I made a mistake up here. This is times 1 milliliter. And 1 milliliter is 1,000th of a liter. So this would be our answer. All right. So we'll try. Let's do one more here. That letter A was already done for us, so we'll look at letter B. A jug of syrup holds 12 cups. Convert 12 cups into pints. So we have 2 cups in 1 pint. A cup is 8 ounces. A pint is 16 ounces. So we know we have 2 cups in a pint. 12 times 1 cup is the same as 12 times 1/2 of a pint. So we have 1/2 of 12, or 12 divided by 2. Pints. 12 divided by 2 is 6 pints. So when we're converting to a larger unit of measurement, we need to divide to make that conversion. And when we are converting to a smaller unit of measurement, we need to multiply to convert that measurement. So that should really be the takeaway between from lesson 13 and lesson 14. We're all done for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you next time.